All right, we're going to take a look at SQL injection attacks. This is a payroll application that's running. It's a PHP application that's running as part of the Damn Vulnerable Web app and under Metasploitable 3. So it's just a chance for us to practice and see what a SQL injection would look like, how that would take place. So I can try and log in using admin. I try a blank password because sometimes that happens. We get a message at the top that says welcome admin. And I see what looks like a table. So there's four columns in my table, but there's no information, right? Username, first name, last name, salary. So I don't know if it really logged me in as admin. I suspect not, since it's not showing me any information. Let's go back and try something, right? Try and log in as Bob with a password of Bob. And now it says, welcome, Bob. So I'm thinking, obviously, I'm not really logging in, but it's still returning some information back, right? It's still showing me the basic format of if I get a real login, what would that be like? What information is going to display? Let's try one of our really basic SQL injection statements, right? The most basic. So of course we start with that single tick, right? So a single tick, a single quote, I'm going to try and pass a programming statement to the backend database. So I'm sending a null, right? Nothing, or 1 equals 1. So how will my remote system, if this works, how will my remote system interpret this? True or false? True. It's true, right? 1 does equal 1. So it's saying something, or 1 equals 1. You could do A equals A, whatever. So let's send this into that backend database, right? We're gonna let SQL try and figure out, right? Hey, see if it will interpret this as a programming statement. And it did. So it just logged me into the first account that it came across. What's my first account going to be on a system?
Root.
Or admin, right? Or whatever. It's whoever set up this program, whoever set up the SQL database. The first login is going to be my system administrator, whether or not it's root or whatever name it was given. And nicely, you know what? It gave me information, right? So I see username, right? Leah Organa, salary range 9560, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, R2D2 is making some money. That's good for him. Lando Calrissian's making some coin, as is Boba Fett, Jabba the Hutt, right? So they're all making nice. So obviously this is information we probably wouldn't want to be leaked out onto the internet. Hey, look how much all of our people are being paid, right? So that would be somewhat. Is Jar Jar making more than Han Solo? Sorry, you're distracting me. Oh yeah, about that. Jar Jar making more than Han Solo. That don't seem right.
He's got all that toy money.
Oh, that's what it is. The toy money. Okay. So obviously we see this is bad. And it's susceptible to SQL. We just used a basic injection, right, to bypass the authentication into this server. But we can try and do something more, right? I can try a union. So a union is SQL for and. So it's execute this and execute this other command, right? We'll try to select. So I'm trying to select, and I want it to display something in my table because I know my table has 4 columns. So I'm telling it, don't display anything in the first one, don't display anything in the second one, don't display anything in the third one. But in the 4th column, show me your version. And when I have a double @ symbol, the @ that's system variable. I want to see what version the system is. And I got nothing. I broke it. Silly wabbit. I had to close my statement with the hash sign. So why isn't this working? All right, so we've seen that before, right? Because it did 2 things for us. It did the same login as admin, displayed all the information, but it also gave me my version down here. 5.5.60-0. And I'm running on Ubuntu 14.04.1. So if I wanted to do like CVE lookups, right, and see what vulnerabilities are known for this version of SQL. This happens to be a MySQL that's running. If I did an nmap scan against it, you would see that it, right? So actually I should do that just for quickies, right? So nmap. And we'll let that run on our server just to see what kind of connections, what else. Oh, that was it. So my server has FTP open. There's an SSH open. Obviously HTTP, we're using that. 445, 631, 3000 is closed. So 3306 is MySQL. So we know that it's running MySQL and it's version 5.5.60-0. So that's the version. So if you wanted to look for known vulnerabilities, we could do that and start spinning up our Metasploit, right, and start seeing if I can launch vulnerabilities against it. But let's see what else we can figure out here from our SQL injection. So rather than asking for the version, it would be great if it would give me the username and the password from the user table. something wrong.
Did you have to use the at?
No, I shouldn't have to. What did I miss? So again, I'm just trying the union, right? So union select, I want to select from the table users. And I'm saying, hey, it would be really great if you would give me the username and the password from that table. And so now we have usernames and passwords for all of the and so not horrible passwords, right? Special characters, even Jar Jar, right? Misa password with substitutions.
I don't know. Boba Fett's password's pretty weak.
Boba Fett's, yeah, you know what? Mandalorian won, but hey, still something. I mean, those are, you know what? There's no password one in that list. So these are legit passwords, right? But now that I have someone's password and we see that we have SSH open, let's try that. Bang, and I'm in. So I just logged in as Princess Leia. So how do I figure out, right, I got my LS, see if she has anything in her home directory. Well, let's assume we're in the home directory, right? Print working directory. Yeah, I'm in her home directory. There's nothing there. How can I check her permissions? Linux, group. Oops, my bad. Groups with an S. Hey, how about that? Princess Leia's in the sudo group. So now we don't have to worry about researching vulnerabilities for that Ubuntu server or for that MySQL or anything else that's running, because I now have root level access into this server because she's in the sudo group. So I can cat out the password file, the PASSW file. I can cat out the shadow file, right? I can take, although I already have all of their salaries, or not their salaries, I have their salaries, yes, but I already have all their passwords. But there could be more users on the system, right? I could check and see what processes are running. If they have antivirus, right, I can kill it. I could alter it. I mean, I have sudo access, so I could change anything on the system I wanted. So Boba Fett, Jabba Hutt, and Greedo and Chewbacca all have a Docker access. Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, and Han Solo all have sudo. And there is a root account as well. So that's a pretty quick example of how bad things can get when a server is not filtering, right, is not validating account, is not validating information being sent into SQL. SQL is just doing what it's told to do, right? If you send it a programming statement, it's acting like it's supposed to. The problem is that particular web app isn't filtering out that single tick mark, right? It's not preventing us from sending SQL statements to the backend server.